Play here, and we're your year-round spot for Padres talk in San Diego. Join our Tier 1 listeners. Catch Ben and Woods weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. The workday is coming to an end.
It is 5 o'clock. I will see you all tomorrow.
But Gwynn and Chris are just getting started.
Sports talk it is.
Your hosts, Tony Gwynn Jr.
First, wait. Whoa! I threw everybody off with that one.
Whoa!
Sorry.
What just happened?
And Chris Ello.
I think he's kind of a mouth.
Oh my gosh, what does that mean?
He just says a bunch of stuff that I don't agree with.
All right.
A mouth.
I'm going to move on from this as fast as possible.
Number 2. It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are in the stretch run of the day. We will have Sam Levitt coming up here in about an hour to preview the next game between the Padres and the Blue Jays. But Tony, you're up in Canada. How's it going up there? Have you had any poutine yet? Because I've never had poutine, and I hear it's delicious.
No, I have not had any poutine, and don't plan on having any.
Oh, that's right. You're on SD Fat Loss. You can't have poutine.
That is correct, my friend. Just berries and apples and occasional some protein here and there. But no, it's actually been nice. Today it's been rainy though. It's been rainy pretty much all day. Gray skies. Won't matter for the game obviously because we have a roof. But I have come prepared. I feel good about it. Like I have my big coat. I certainly came to Toronto not wanting to be surprised by some cold weather, and sure enough, some cold weather's here.
Really? I honestly didn't even look at the weather because I know that they can open the roof and close the roof and all that, but Toronto is getting some cold weather right now at the end of May.
Yes, I walked back yesterday. It was quite chilly. It was in like the high 40s walking back yesterday.
Dang. Man,
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought Toronto was just like humid and hot during the summer, but geez, high 40s. We haven't felt that in San Diego in forever. I got a question about
We're in the middle of like a little heat week, aren't we?
Yeah, it's pretty hot actually. 85 degrees.
Ooh, that's hot.
I walked the dogs this morning and I went out a little bit too late. I went out at like 11 a.m. and I was cooking. The only good thing about it is that the dogs were cooking too, and so they wanted to go home.
They were like, let's go home.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I got a question about your SD Fat Loss, though, because I never had to do this during my SD Fat Loss. But how are you traveling and staying on task with the SD Fat Loss?
It's hard. It's kind of expensive.
Yes.
I've had to do I did Uber Eats the first day to kind of make it work. It was tough during the game. I had to like figure it out because they didn't have nothing. I think I had an apple. I probably had to cheat a little bit because there was literally. I think my option was, what do you call the fake meat?
The fake meat.
Yes.
I don't know.
That was one of the options. There was another option that you didn't clearly see scans. What is it called?
I have no idea what the fake
Burger
meat
King.
is.
Burger King did it.
Meat. Wonder.
Impossible.
There it is.
Basically an impossible version of a sausage next to some pulled pork. So I couldn't do really either of those two. Those were my protein options. So I instead went with a salad that had like a couple pieces of pasta, had 2 apples. Yeah, so I was starving, say the least, by the time I got to the hotel. And then I had to, then I was able to get some food that I could actually eat. But it was, it's hotel food. It's expensive, So I had to wear it.
Yeah. Now you're sitting next to a guy for the next couple games, Bob Scanlon, who I've heard can eat like a horse. So
yes, he actually pointed out that there was some pulled pork, which I saw him take part in for sure. Yeah, Scan is a big dude, man. He's not eating for a small person. Let's just say that.
What about Dave Marcus? What does Dave Marcus eat on the road?
Dave played for the tie like most everybody does yesterday. He had his salad, but he also had his pasta and his pulled. Did you have pulled pork yesterday? Yeah, he had a little. He said he had a little pulled pork yesterday.
Well, weensy pulled
As
pork.
I said, he played for the tie. He got the tie.
Well, good for him because
Yeah.
I don't know that I could just go for a little eensy bit of pulled pork.
How about this? And so here's a quick little funny story. I definitely am not supposed to work out the way I normally work out, but I kind of cheated a little bit. So I went in there this morning and I did a half of what I normally do leg day, and what I was told was that you don't have any carbs in your system, man. You're gonna notice it. Typical for an athlete. You think I'll be all right. I'm not worried about it. I say after I finished the squat rack, I began to feel lightheaded, and so I had to start I had to wait till my heart rate would come below 130, and then I could have a get back to work. I had to do everything in about 6 reps today. So,
Wow. Well, we're making SD fat loss sound really hard. It's not as hard when you're not traveling.
that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
SD fat, that's just me wanting to do what I'm not supposed to be doing right now.
Because you're an athlete and you want to go do some squats.
I just want to not sit around and do nothing all day. But
yeah, that is another thing that I don't think people think about, because there's a lot of idle time on the road for players, and then for broadcasters, is even more idle time.
I've been getting my gaming in though. I've been on my. Here's the other thing: certain hotels have these little. I'm giving you guys all the little behind the curtain. Certain hotels have these kind of you can't plug your HDMI directly in the TV. It's got to go into another box, which is fine, except if you want to play video games, because then the game is slower. You hit the button to swing, and the pitch is already blown by you. So I can't play baseball games at these type of hotels. Toronto happens to be one of these type of hotels. So I've been playing PGA Tour 2 or 2K PGA
2K whatever.
Yeah.
I have not played that game yet. Is it worth it?
I've been getting my character up here. We're doing all right.
Okay, all right. Is it like MLB The Show where you have a road to the show where you have to play different tournaments to get to become a pro?
You got to go to Q school. You got to win in Q school. And then you get your PGA card, and then you can play in those tournaments.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah.
My MLB The Show guy is taking, I almost said a bad word, forever to get to the major league level. They're really making me work hard.
You don't need to play that game. Put it on rookie. Get in there, get to the big leagues, and then change it to the setting that you want to have at that point.
Since we're talking video games, I also found that if you're a dual threat player in your road to the show, it takes you a lot longer because you got to be good at pitching and hitting. So
yeah, you can't suck at one and be good at the other.
I started over because I had to. Dude, Tony, I was in the minors for 4 years. 4 years.
It's time to pick.
Now I know why all the other players are I'm ready to be done with this sport of baseball if I'm not going to make the major leagues.
Time to pack it in, especially if it's on road to the show. In real life, okay, you can stick it out a little bit longer, but road to show, you need to be up in the big leagues before 4 years of playing. All right, let's talk some Padre baseball. Yes. Obviously, we're avoiding what is clearly I said it after the game yesterday. Clearly, the offense has hit a rough spot here. I think the Padres had a rough stretch earlier in the season, and that was mainly due to the bullpen. So now it seems like it's the offense's turn right now. They're going through what they're going through, and the last 4 games have been almost identical in how they have broken down. Padres with a few opportunities, they don't take advantage of it. A couple of mistakes on the pitching side lead to homers, and the Padres, struggle to string anything together. They're getting their hits still, but they're scattered, and they're not in points where they are of consequence.
No, and it looks like they're frustrated, obviously. And when you look at pitching, 4 of the past 8 quality starts by Padres pitchers have come in games that the team has lost. So we're not losing games. They're not losing games because of pitching. But this is the big thing right now here in San Diego. They don't hit enough home runs. My thought on this is they were never going to hit a ton of home runs. This team is not designed around the home run. They play in a park, Petco Park, that does not give up a lot of home runs. Now, it stinks to see the other team hit a bunch of home runs at Petco Park when the Padres can't, but that's what we're talking about here today, is because the home run for the Padres has eluded them this year, but they still have won games. They still have put up runs. They still have put up a ton of hits. And I don't necessarily know how important a lot of home runs is to this team.
I mean, I think they finished somewhere in the middle of the pack last year, and that's where I expect them to finish at this year. I don't think this is going to stay this way. It certainly sticks out when the other team is beating you virtually off of home runs, right? I mean, That's what Seattle did. That's basically what happened last night. And so, yeah, it certainly sticks out to you a lot more when it's happening. I still maintain that when the year's over, they'll be right in the middle of the pack. As you said, they were never going to be a team that hit a bunch of home runs. That's not how they've picked the guys they have decided to build around. That's not how they have been able to that's not what they developed in terms of Jackson, right? That's not something that's going to be a big part of their offense. Now, that being said, because they haven't hit as many, they're probably got to be towards the bottom of the league during this point of the year. It's ended up costing them in some of these games that have had the homer feature. Listen, it's inevitable that if your team is not, if it's a noticeable thing to everybody that you're not hitting homers, it's going to come up in conversations, especially when you start losing ball games.
They're 26th in the league in home runs right now.
They're right towards the bottom.
Yeah.
And so, as I said, I don't think that you can you could make an argument that maybe that's where the offense has started to kind of take a turn, because they might also notice that they don't have a lot of homers. And
so we got the pressing again.
So this is kind of how it goes sometimes. I think they'll get themselves out of it. And I think they'll get themselves out of it sooner rather than later. It's just right now the offense is going through what the bullpen went through, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. I mean, this is, as you guys have taught me over the many years that we've worked together, this is just how a baseball season goes. And the immediate reaction, even to me, but then I think about it and I put that reaction down, is you got to mess with the lineup. You got to move guys around. You got to put Toddy at 3. You got to put this guy there. You got to go there. I don't think that's necessarily the move to be made, but if it keeps going like this, they're going to have to do something.
If it keeps going like this, they'll definitely make a move. I mean, remember Toddy hit what, 3rd last year, all year, or 2nd?
Second,
he wasn't
I
leading
believe.
off.
No,
yeah, because Arise was leading off
and Profar,
right? And that was the new change when we got to the season. All of a sudden, Toddy was leading off and Rise was hitting 2nd. I don't know. I think at some point, if it continues, you'll see Mike Schilt try to make a change and see if he can kickstart it. I don't know that he's there yet, though. Maybe he is. There is no lineup up yet. Let me see if they got one up yet.
Okay, because
lineup is up, and he hasn't. He's not there yet. Like I said.
Now let's talk about left field. I said last Friday that left field's not losing the Padres games. No need to change left field right now. As long as you're getting good defense out of left field, then that's good enough for me. The defense, they need a left fielder or a left field platoon. And so basically what I'm trying to ask without being a jerk is, when is it time for Jason Hayward?
Did we just discuss this like 2 days ago?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same answer as it was 2 days ago. When Mike Schilt feels like it's time, that's when it'll be time. At the end of I think he is given a lock an opportunity to play left against lefties and righties. That's what they have right now. So I mean, listen, that's
basically where I'm at, where you're
that's
at.
where it's at.
There's no more to say about
AJ
it.
Preller is making a move that has made a move, then I don't know that this is what they got right now. This is what they're gonna run out there. And so until that changes, that's what it is.
One of the things that bothers me most about people who give me their opinion on baseball is, number one, you don't know ball. Number two, it's like, well, just DFA him. Where are you going to get a guy who's ready to go? Like, where are you going to get that guy? Well, who's going to replace that guy?
It's not that they can't get somebody that is of equal value or talent in terms of production, because they probably can, but it's going to be the same thing. It ain't going to be more or better unless they go out and make a move. And I don't think here in May that they're there yet.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they shouldn't or that they can't. I'm just saying I don't know that they're ready to make that type of change just yet.
All right, let's go back to last night. We're fitting in a lot because Tony has some stuff to do down up there in Toronto. But Dylan Cease, really good last night. He gave up. He said the only thing that he regret was the slider to Santander later in the game, which put him up 3-0. But Dylan Cease has been pitching really, really well as of late. And so we don't need to be worried about Dylan Cease anymore and what's going on. We know what he's going to give us in a start, and his slider has been awesome as of late. Kevin Acee put up a whole graph about it, and he last night there was only one hit out of 15 at bats when someone swung at the slider. He's 4 for 40 in the last 3 games with hits on the slider. So Dylan Cease is what we thought he was. So anybody out there saying that Dylan Cease is a problem, I have a problem with you.
Who was saying that? That's not real. Nobody was
just
saying
those
that.
people. You know those people, as Chris calls them.
I don't know those people.
People.
Who are these people that you're talking about?
The trolls out there thinking that everything's always going to be bad, but Dylan Cease was good. He's keeping them in games. I have 0 issues with Dylan Cease.
Yeah, no, there's no problem with the pitching. The problem right now is the offense. And as I said, I think they'll get it going. I hope it's tonight. It might not be, though. It might be tomorrow. We'll see. We will definitely see.
Last thing before we let you go. Randy Vasquez versus Kevin Gausman tonight. Blue Jays fans, I went into a whole Reddit hole about Kevin Gausman. They want to DFA him right now. Yeah, I know. It's not just us, Tony. It's not just Padres fans. But I believe that Randy Vasquez can keep him into a game. I think Kevin Gausman is a pitcher who could figure it out whenever he wants. But what are you thinking about tonight?
Here's the thing. When your offense is struggling, anybody can get you. You know what I'm saying? The Padres have a lot of experience against Gausman. He pitched for San Francisco for multiple years. These guys have seen him, and that the fastball split combo, although I think initially gave a lot of the guys issues, became something that they started to hit pretty well. So you hope that they revert to what they did the last time I think they saw Gausman. I think they hit him up pretty good. And so if they can do that, we'll be having a different conversation tomorrow.
That would be great.
Actually, we won't be having any conversation tomorrow.
Braden and I are going to be out at blood drive tomorrow after the game. So we'll be talking all about what happened with the Padres in the last couple games. But, Tony, you got some stuff to do at the Rogers Center. We will talk to you on Friday before the game.
Yes,
before
sir.
they play the Braves.
In the ATL at that point.
You'll be in the ATL. I love it. All right. When we get back, I am going to tell you about where Leo Dallas DeVries is now ranked in the ESPN Top 100 Prospects. Also, kind of look at the big boppers in the lineup is what I'm calling them. So when we get back, we'll talk about that on 97.3 The Fan.
Skinny Crisello here.
welcome back into Gwynn and Chris. Gwynn is getting ready for the game between the Padres and the Blue Jays tonight. Chris is taking some much needed days off. And if you would like to watch us on YouTube, you can just search 97.3 The Fan on YouTube, and you'll be able to find the live broadcast. We're also on Facebook. We're also on Twitter as well, at Matt Scraby. And if you're watching the YouTube, yesterday I wore my Merrill Madness t-shirt because I was trying to Back here, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3, The Fan. Thank you to everybody who let us know about the YouTube issues. We are trying to fix it right now, and we are doing our best. We got a couple moving pieces today, so bear with us as much as you can. All you need to know about the last segment is that it was one of the best segments of sports radio history. So the meat of the order is what is the problem with this team. It's not Jason Hayward. It's not left field. But if you're in the chat, let us know if you can hear it, and we'll try to fix it going on. But I'm going to go forward with the rest of the show because Sam Levitt is coming up here shortly. He's going to be previewing the game 2 between the Padres and the Blue Jays. We got Randy Vasquez for the Padres. We got Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. Now, when I went to break, I was telling you that we are going to hear from the manager of the Padres because he just did his scrum there in Toronto, and he answered some of the questions that we have been asking here on the show so far. And so let's go and hear from Mike Schilt talking to the media before the game about sticking with the lineup and Tatis hitting leadoff.
You speak about the confidence you have in your lineup, the guys that have produced, and the last few games haven't, but you keep going with those guys, and that's what you believe in.
I mean, I actually get the privilege to look at the scoreboard now, and it's like, wow, look at that lineup. That's a heck of a good lineup. Why would I not want to run it out there? So I can understand the question. I understand people's rightful, looking at it and questioning of it, perhaps. I don't know. But I'm looking out there at All-Stars and World Series champions and maybe future Hall of Famers and All-Stars this year and guys that have helped us contribute to a lot of success, short-term and longer-term. And I feel great about it.
Tatis in the leadoff spot, I'm just wondering, is it more important that the bottom of the order gets on base for him? Or no, that's just independent. That's where you like him in the spot. I wonder how much both of those play in.
Yeah, that's a great question because the thing about Toddy, we have a fair amount of guys like that can hit anywhere in the lineup, which makes a good lineup, which what we have. Toddy is unique for a lot of reasons. Just his skill set's just, top of the league. But you look at it and you rightfully you go, okay, can he hit leadoff? Clearly, he can do that. Is it important that the bottom of the lineup helps flip the lineup? I think that's important whether Toddy's leading off or, Louis leading off or whoever. But I also know that he's a disruptor to start the game. He's also, as I've done this a while now, you start to think about like turning the lineup over. Who do you want to turn the lineup over to? Toddy feels good. And either way, that's and if he's leading off, that means he's got the chance to hit more than anybody else in the game. So that feels pretty good too. But yeah, would there be value in hitting second? Sure. Some of your best hitters, the philosophy is they hit second. Well, we have a 3-10 body check with hitting second. So what's your criteria best hitter? That's probably part of it. And then you kind of take it from there. But Toddy could hit 1 through 5, and have a rationale and feel great about all of it. But I think hitting first is a good spot for him, and he enjoys it. So that's part of the equation too.
All right, that was Mike Schilt talking to the media before the game. And just so everyone knows, when Sam Levitt presents that audio during his show, everybody give him a round of applause. I just want him to know he's very special. That's Sam Levitt. But, I mean, Mike Schilt is... By now, I think we know what Mike Schilt is going to say. And Mike Schilt is always going to stick up for his player. Mike Schilt is not going to entertain the quote-unquote fan point of view, which is just change everything up. But I have to think that inside the clubhouse, Mike Schilt sticking with his lineup and showing his players that he believes in them goes a really, really long way with the team. And we've already seen a couple times that Mike Schilt has put himself out there on the line for his players, and his players respond. I immediately go back to his ejection against the Yankees. Fernando gets ejected for the first time in his career. Mike Schilt comes out, glasses came off, and guess what? Padres made a huge comeback and they win the game. So when you're listening to Mike Schilt, and sometimes when I'm listening to Mike Schilt as well, I kind of hear the coach speak, but I don't think there's any real way for him to go about this without saying what he says. And yes, this lineup is really, really, really good. And yes, this lineup can struggle. So over the baseball season, that's why baseball, and that's why I've come to love baseball, is that there's a sense of urgency, but there's really it's a slower sense of urgency because there are so many games. We are May 21st. We still have over 100 games to go. So plenty can happen. And these slumps are just going to happen. It just is something that happens in baseball. And Toddy hitting leadoff, if Toddy wants to hit leadoff, let Toddy hit leadoff. Now, is there going to be a point in the season where they may have to move him because things just aren't going well? Yes. But if Toddy wants to hit leadoff, then I'm all for it. I want guys to be in positions that they want to be in. And he wants to be in the leadoff spot. And we've seen him hit some leadoff home runs. We've seen him get doubles from the leadoff spot. Now, when you have Luis Arraez immediately behind him, I do understand the concern and criticism for having him there because, as Chris says, he clogs up the bases. And so that's why you really don't have him leading off, because when he gets on base and say Toddy's hitting second and then he hits one into the gap, Luis Arraez might not be fast enough to get all the way around to home from first. So it might go from first to third. If there's any sort of change I would make, and I don't want to make a change, I would possibly move Jackson Merrill down to 2. And then you could put Luis Arraez at the 4th spot, because if you go 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, then you still have Luis Arraez leading off the second inning. So I'm fine with that. But I still think that this team needs to allow all of the hitters to, what am I trying to say here? I think this team needs to leave it as it is right now, because it's just way too early to be making major changes. Major changes are not always a good thing. Major changes cause a lot of other things, and it causes a lot of other griefs around the team. But if, again, the theme of the show is the meat of the order, if they can't hit, you're not going to win games. It's just that simple. If they can't hit, you're not going to win games. So the Padres, they're going to get back on track. We all know this. We all feel it. Does it stink right now to not have them winning? Yeah. But, a couple times last year, they went into some tailspins. They made it out just fine. Same with Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill is a guy who has gone into some tailspins, and he has made it out just fine. In fact, in the next couple of days, I'm going to go through some of the Jackson Merrill numbers. I did do this. Okay, so when he hit his first quote-unquote slump, Jackson Merrill, last year, he didn't have a hit in 6 straight games. So after that, he broke that with a hit against the Diamondbacks on May 3rd of last year. And then for the rest of May, he hit 293 with 2 homers, 10 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases, only 11 strikeouts and 82 at-bats. I also think we have to remember that Jackson Merrill is in his 2nd year of professional baseball. And what we got last year and what we've seen so far this year is I don't know that we can expect him to be that good all the time. He's kind of set the expectations way too high for himself. And he'll be the first one to tell you that he wants that. He wants the expectations high. But I have 0 issues with Jackson Merrill. I have 0 worries about Jackson Merrill. He's going to break out of it. But again, 2nd year in baseball, coming off of a hamstring injury where he missed a ton of time, he's going to keep facing these things in his career. And we just have to be there behind him, because I said this last year in spring training when I became the biggest Jackson Merrill fan of all time. If we're going to celebrate Jackson Merrill when he's great, we're going to have to support Jackson Merrill when he's struggling. And so right now, let's support Jackson Merrill while he's struggling. All right, we got just about 10 minutes or so left before Sammy Lev takes over and previews the game between the Padres and the Blue Jays. But I wanted to get into this because I get DMs like crazy about Leo DeVries and how he's ready to go right now. Let's get him up there. Let's put him in there for Xander Bogaerts. I don't think that he's going to be up this year, but Kylie McDaniel put out an article on ESPN, the top 100 prospects, and Leo Dallas DeVries came in at number 3, which I was, I guess, not surprised, but number 3 is high. I mean, he's just behind 2 guys that are major league ready. So if you're looking at it in this way, he could be major league ready because he's in the group of guys that are major league ready. But here's what Kylie McDaniel said about him. DeVries gets the edge among a group of 3 high upside teenage shortstops appearing in a row. He has the best on base and pull lift skills of the 3, while also being a switch hitter who is at least as good defensively at shortstop as the other 2. DeVries has the tools to be above average at everything, with potential for, and Adam, I don't know if you had the same reaction when you read this part, with the potential for 25 to 30 home runs. That was like eye-popping to me because I didn't think maybe 15, 20, 25 to 30 home runs. El Mutante, I believe is what they call him. He is, if he could do that, he's a perennial, he's a superstar in the making. Now, again, this is just Kylie McDaniel saying what he thinks can happen. And again, I still don't think we see DeVries this year, but he is really, 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 really making a push for the opening day roster next year. But on the other side of his hitting, you have to look at his fielding. And he is a good defensive shortstop. But I went to his MILB account today, and I was looking at his fielding statistics. And so far this year, in 113 total chances, he has 10 errors. He's got a 91% fielding percentage. It's not good. It's not good. And I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm just saying he's trying to learn how to play the position at a different level. He's only played at 2 levels. He played at A, I believe, in Lake Elsinore, and now he's at high A in Fort Wayne. I don't know that people understand how each level gets incrementally more difficult. Like, I'll use video games. You start at rookie level, and then you go to like veteran mode, and then you go to like hardened mode, and then you go to legend mode, which is the major league level. Each level gets more difficult. So why can we not just let Leo DeVries get through each level and see how he does at each level before thrusting him into the spotlight and being an everyday shortstop for the San Diego Padres at the age of 20? I just don't see that happening. But that's something I think that people don't really pay attention to, is the defensive side. Because I could totally see it right now. I could totally see it right now when he makes his major league debut and he kicks a couple balls and he has some errors. I thought this guy was good. He is good. He just needs time to develop. I guess this job has taught me one thing, and that is patience. And I work on my patience every single day. But it's hard to be patient unless it's a guy like Leo DeVries, where you really need him to be ready to go before you pull him up to the major league level. Ethan Salas, on the other hand, he was in the I think he was 25 in the ESPN top 100 prospects. He's injured. He's out until June. They say June. He could be out could be out longer. But from the people that I talk to, and yes, I do have sources within some sources, they're saying that he's a lot further away from the major league level than Leo DeVries is. Number one, Ethan Salas is struggling at the plate. He's not hitting very well. And number two, being a catcher is a totally different beast. So you could be Leo DeVries and you could hit 25 to 30 home runs and play great defense at shortstop, or you could be Ethan Salas, who has to worry about managing the pitching staff, trying to make sure that he's not letting pass balls go by, trying to make sure that he's not costing the team games. And I think that he's just a little bit further out than Leo DeVries. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. We've heard a lot about Ethan Salas, but Those two guys, I think we need to be patient with. And having Kylie McDaniel, who is a very respected writer in ESPN and for prospects, having him put Leo Dallas DeVries at number 3, big deal to me. Big deal. But just remember, as good as he is at hitting, he needs work on defense. All right, I'm going to fit this in because I really want to. I saw a fan actually on X yesterday quote tweeting a post from Major League Baseball. And the post had Paul Skeens in 5 different uniforms. And this fan made an absolutely fantastic point. He said, what's the point of being excited about a player on my team if Major League Baseball is already assuming he's going to be on another team? And that's a great point. Why is Major League Baseball trying already to get Paul Skeens off of the Pirates? I mean, Major League Baseball, Pirates fans still pay money too. Pirates fans still want to have a good team. I don't think you could start doing these. You are basically telling these people they have no shot at having Paul Skeens on his team for the long term. And is that the truth? Probably. But that's more of what is his name? Nutting? Bob Nutting. That's more of his problem. But I don't like that Major League Baseball, and this is not a Paul Skeens thing, because I know that people think that I hate Paul Skeens. I do not hate Paul Skeens, but I don't think it's a good look for Major League Baseball to be putting Paul Skeens in other uniforms before he's even at the point where he's hitting free agency. That's just not a good look for a league. That would be crazy to. I don't know. Maybe this does happen in the NFL if it was like, I'm just making something up. Brock Purdy, where is he going to go? And then you put Brock Purdy in 5 different uniforms. If I'm a fan, I'm like, why are you already kicking my guy off the team? But anyway, Bleacher Report walk-off put a trade proposal for Paul Skeens together for basically every single team in baseball. Here is the trade proposal that Bleacher Report walk-off made for the Padres. San Diego Padres get Paul Skeens. Pirates get DeVries, Ethan Salas, and Cash Mayfield. My first thought to this is, okay, yes on Salas. I can deal with that. Yes on Mayfield. We don't really know what he's going to be. Heck no on Leo DeVries. Heck no. And now there's also other provisions to this. Is this the Paul Skeens that has signed a 10-year deal with the Padres and he's going to be here for a long time? Or is this the Paul Skeens that's going to be out after his service or after he's allowed to hit free agency? Because that changes a lot for me. I don't know if it changes it for you, but it changes a ton for me. I'm not trading Leo Dallas DeVries for Paul Skeens if he's just going to be out of here in about 5 or 6 years. Just not going to happen. If we just got done talking about DeVries, we just got done talking about how people think he's a generational talent. There's no way I trade Leo Dallas DeVries. I keep going back between Leo Dallas and Leo. I'm going to go with Leo because I think he calls himself Leo. But there's no way I'm trading a generational player like Leo DeVries for Paul Skeens, who could be gone here in 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years. I'm just not doing it. And the reason I'm okay giving up Ethan Salas, catchers are unicorns, yes, but he's further off. And I don't really know what to expect from him over the next couple years other than just trying to get better. And Cash Mayfield, big time prospect, the number 3 prospect for the Padres. I just don't know what he's going to do at the major league level. So I'm fine. Let's send him out there. Let's go. Everybody's available. Well, not everybody. DeVries is untouchable to me for right now because he's that good. El Mutante. All right. I threw a lot at everyone today, so I appreciate you being here with me. This is Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello. Chris Ello is going to be back next week. Tony Gwynn Jr. will rejoin the show on Friday from Atlanta. He has to fly from Toronto to Atlanta. But coming up next, it's Sammy Levitt. And make sure everybody listens to the Mike Schilt sound and make sure that you make him feel special. Have a great day. Enjoy the game. Hopefully we get a Padres win.